staff, what I think has done exceedingly well under pressure, and they have responded and worked at responding quickly and competently on time. The SG, CPC, Ms. McCarthy from Parliament have all been, and LRB's commander. I think they've all done made a tremendous effort to get it. I said to one of my staff members a while ago, if we look back how this bill started, it was like a marathon we set out on, but just when we thought we finished the marathon, we had to do a 400 meter to tie it up at 400 meter pace. This was the last, just about the last year or so. Once we got the policy clarifications and the members really responded well. We have done 21 meetings since March, I think. We took away a lot of the parliamentary space and put all the pressure on Ms. McCarthy. Some days we met for days, sometimes 2 sessions. So it was quite an effort. And it's among the reasons that I'm putting to see if we can really get on the House on Tuesday, because it really reflect the phenomenal effort of all our members, and I said, quickly and efficiently responding to everything. I'd really like to, not so much to credit to myself and the parliamentary colleagues, but to demonstrate the quality of work and effort put in by our supporting staff. Any apologies, Ms. McCarthy?
For Senator Bunting, sir.
Thank you. All right, we'll go into...
And Mr. Chairman, Senator Golding says that she's just completing a matter in the Supreme Court, but she'll be joining short.
Thank you. All right, Ms. McCarthy, now we have today, what's our process? We take the report, right?
Yes, sir.
Do I have to go to page by page? I should just focus on where we have made the additions or subtractions, the changes. I think it's been...
Sorry, sir. It would just be the areas that we've made
right.
The changes, and Mr. Richards will share for me today.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else the committee would want to look at. I distributed the newest version of the report as well as the latest version of the amendments that I received earlier today.
So we start where now? There are 2 where we made changes.
And excuse me, Chairman. Sorry, at some appropriate point, I don't know when that would be, I had 2 matters to raise.
Okay. But maybe while Mr. Richards is looking at them, I don't think the team would mind if you just mention them now. So are they related to the report or the bill itself?
So bill and report. There's one matter that I didn't have the opportunity to discuss with anyone yet, but it's something that had been troubling me. We had discussion about the provision dealing with the Foreign Law Enforcement Agency, right. Yeah. And its definition. That's 89, clause 89.
Yes.
No, not 89. Oh Lord, I've lost it. Yes, it is 89.
89.
I'm trying to find the definition. Okay, 89A, 5A. So right now it defines a foreign law enforcement agency as an entity that undertakes investigative or prosecutorial functions in relation to criminal offenses that involves prohibited weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Right.
You will recall that I kept saying that the formula or the scheme that we usually have in other legislation is to link the foreign entity to an entity that what the entity in Jamaica would undertake. And our entity here would really be the Firearms Licensing Authority. So having considered it a lot more, I really do think that this bill should allow for the sharing of information between the Firearms Licensing Authority and an entity in another jurisdiction that has licensing or registration functions as it relates to firearms.
It's a registrar that they're linking with here, not the affiliate.
And yes, but the registrar is still a functionary of the authority. And basically anything that would be going to the registrar is really going to the authority.
Not strictly under the IFSLM. In fact, has a whole series of response beyond the affiliate, and it's only the IFSLM that has the government registration firearms.
I can't say how the registrar is completely divorced from the authority though, Chair. And if there was a legal action, I'm not sure we would even be able to make that sort of distinction.
So if I may, SG.
But I'm actually expanding what you have here. Because I'm thinking that this is something that you would, and this is the usual construct, that you would want to be able to share registration, licensing information, or at least information with the entity that is undertaking the kind of functions. Because, okay, even if you say it's not the authority, the registrar is involved to an extent with some of those activities. Is that not so? Or am I off? I'm not sure.
You're not off, you're correct.
And you would then want to be able to, because even, remember when we're even having that discussion about the reverse burden of proof, which I know we have moved on from, but you will need to have some information about registration or licensing documents of firearms in other jurisdictions, as well as whatever other information those entities may have. And you should be able to share information with them within a construct. And the construct, of course, would be what you have in 89, which is you enter into some sort of agreement with these other entities. But what I'm trying to allow you to do, at least the law should allow you to be able to enter into these agreements. And it doesn't now. It talks about entities that have investigative or prosecutorial functions. You do recognize that those entities may not have that. And so now you could be excluding entities that you really should be able to share some information. And I'm sorry that I'm just raising it now, but it's something that I was trying to work out, and it has taken me some time. So that's the first issue.
I appreciate the comment. I was trying to get it straight in my own head, but what's the second issue? I'll come back to that.
The second issue is, although I noticed that the CPC didn't act on one part of it, I noticed that there was it appears as if there was a discussion at the Joint Select, this committee at the last sitting. Somehow I missed that discussion about amendments to the Offences Against the Person Act. And instructions were being issued to amend 2 sections in the Offences Against the Person Act as consequential amendments. And they would have been included in one of the schedules of this bill.
I think, I know what you're referring to, SG. I was advised that legal reform instructed that we should consider asking for a separate amendment because the matter is not as simple as projected in the discussion. So we should leave
right,
in
the 7th schedule. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just pointing out though that if it really was a recommendation coming out of this committee,
yeah,
what I think you can do is reflect it in the report that this is something that you would want the Ministry of Justice to consider, because that is something you have the remit to do.
Right. So it's not a consequence, but something that we'd like to see done, right?
Right. So and that is something you can, and you can actually just reflect that in the report.
Right. Okay.
So you'd have to explain, I guess, or I don't know if at some later point I could explain it more so that Mrs. McCarthy can make the notes.
All right. So the 89 issue.
Before you leave off from this issue, because I think Minister SG would have spoken about the Offense Against the Persons Act. I think what you referred to was the amendment to the Criminal Justice Administration.
No, it's
the
offense
discussion
the first where this was a change the
was
minimum for murder from
murder.
15 to 20.
right.
Correct.
There was two discussions. It was a
That is
change to
discussion
that,
is from there.
as well as a change to the
yeah.
criminal justice, which we, in my discussion
No,
with
that's what
LRD,
he's asking. for.
right, with my discussion with LRD, I was advised to leave that for the Ministry of Justice to,
Okay,
so but the discussions now
once
with,
he gives the instructions, and you would have to incorporate that in the report.
no, so so let me just be clear, Minister. So I would have instructed the CPC based on the discussions at the Joint Select Committee, the last meeting, for the amendment to offensive person. So the instructions from the ministry was to amend section 3, which deals with the sentencing for murder, as well as section 20, which deals with shooting with intent.
Yeah.
So the SG would have advised that the change to section 3 is a little more nuanced than just making the change, because it would require a lot more thought.
Yeah.
But had no objection to section 20 being amended as proposed.
Shooting with intent.
Shooting with intent, right, because it involves a firearm. So the CPC, having been part of this that discussion, would have made the amendments on page 138 of the bill.
Section
The
3.
consequential, right, not to section 3, to section 20. Section 20 is okay because it involves a firearm.
Right. Okay.
So I think that is the
SG,
sense of.
you heard that.
Yes, thanks. I think the note that Mrs. McCarthy would need to make craft in the report is that the committee also considered and that there be an amendment to the penalty to section 3, what is it, 1 big C, B1 of the Offense Against the Person Act, but that the committee is recommending that this is something that should be closely considered by the Ministry of Justice.
As well as the Criminal Justice Administration. I think that was also the recommendation.
All right. So let me just tidy up now. So what you're suggesting, SG, is that 89 should reflect not only it's 89, but it's not 89 to the next section. That if the MOU's contract, whatever it is, should be between an entity or agency that is also involved in the issuing of firearm license. In addition to the registry. Am I reasonable interpretation?
Yes, sorry, I couldn't find my mouse. Yes, I'm suggesting that consideration be given to that. But I think the members would need to weigh in to see if that is something also that they think would be useful. I would have to now look back through 89 to see how it would fit in. But I do think that it would add value.
I think you also mentioned registration apart from that.
I did say licensing and registration because they're not always the same. And in other jurisdictions, you may have some entities that do a registration process, but it's not a licensing regime. So I had suggested using both terms. Again, just some thoughts to be considered.
Because the registration is almost essentially the registrar for all firearms.
Well, for us.
Licensing is not. The licensing is not their remit. And of course, they're involved in investigation, not in prosecution. So essentially we'll have the exchange of information between agencies or entities that are involved in prosecuting, investigating and prosecuting act responsibility in relation to prohibited firearms, and that exchange of data would have to be with similar. It involves not only the prosecuting and investigating units, but with the agencies that are required to do registration and licensing. Oh. Am I, you know, you have to interpret my crude layman term and tell me, that's about covering what.
Right. No, you see, I was thinking of it a little wider. So this is why I was saying I wasn't sure how it fits into 89.5, because 89.5 is restricted to prohibited firearms.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that you would want to be able to share information, not just on prohibited firearms with an entity that does licensing and registration, that it would be to firearms generally. But I'm not clear. I'm still trying to work it through, and perhaps CPC can also assist. I don't know if I'm throwing her in the lines then, and I apologize for that.
No, I wanted to chime in because I think maybe I'll have to kind of maybe retool what's here based on what you said, because it wasn't intended to apply only to prohibited firearms or ammunition. Those words there are not supposed to be qualified by the words prohibited. So it's really to firearms or ammunition or prohibited weapons.
Ah.
Right.
And then I wouldn't have a problem then also if you were going to share with any entity that licenses or registers the as you say, firearms, ammunition, or prohibited weapons. Yes, I wouldn't, that would be fine.
Right.
All right, so we have got it then. It's an amendment to the language a little bit. All right, thank you, dear. CSG, when you get together with CPC, I solve my problem to solve.
Yes, CPC solves all problems. This is correct.
I said with SG and CPC get together. My problems. All right, so we go back. So to our report, where I said, do I have to read the report again, or do I go focus on the certain report before I go to the principal areas to amend, change it?
I'm not certain that you would need to, sir. I know normally we would read the amendments into the record, but since we would have read, I'm not sure if we would need to do so for the amendments today, since we've read through the changes which are indicated in the report.
Yeah, we went through it page by page. It could be satisfied to go to where we have made changes, right?
Yes, sir, and those are highlighted.
Those are okay. So I'm looking for in the printout. I think the first amendment comes on page 5.
Yes, sir.
Essentially, under the Interpretation Act, your committee agrees to amend the subparagraph F of the definition of prohibited firearm by deleting after the words under part 5, the words are under the laws of another jurisdiction. And the next paragraph, you have an addition. It reads, your committee agrees that the definition of 3D printed firearm means a barrel weapon which discharges or is designed to discharge any shot, bullet, or projectile that is mostly produced or manufactured with a 3D printer or by any other type of electronic technology. That was the addition to ensure that we somewhat future-proof for changing technology and in particular software that can be used to manufacture 3D printed equipment quickly and efficiently. That captures the discussion that I recall correctly.
There's another change also, Mr. Richards, at page 27, which would be closer to the end.
I went page by page so that I don't miss anything. You have to. I miss, God, I take responsibility for it. I miss it. On page 26, 7th schedule, 3rd paragraph is an addition. Reads, we also agree to amend subparagraph 3 to read. In section 13, delete all the words appearing after the words may be forfeited and the person is guilty of such breach. And substitute therefore the words commits an offense, liable on conviction before parish court, a fine not exceeding $1 million, of imprisonment for a term not exceeding 1 year under the Gunpowder and Explosives Act. And then under acknowledgements, we added Mr. Peter Champagne et al. As was required. The attendance now reflects we have 20 meetings. You'll correct the presence, of course, the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was it for the report.
I recall the discussion that some acknowledgement should be given to the fact that the made a submission.
Yeah, there should be a sentence and acknowledgements that there was a late submission, which unfortunately came too late for Jamaican for Justice submission, Ms. McCarthy.
Sir, it is closer. I placed that in the section that deals with the submissions received,
Okay.
which would be at, I'm trying to find that now, sorry.
That's a submission, it will be better on the acknowledgements.
Page 3.
Page 3. Page 3.
Page 3.
Let's see. Yes.
I placed it closer to where the submissions were received, sir. It starts on page 3 at the first paragraph of page 3. If it is your page 3. It says that your committee knows the submission received from the Jamaicans for Justice on Friday, July 15, 2020. However, fortunately, it was not received within a reasonable time due to the advanced stage of the committee's proceedings. As a result, the committee was not able to deliberate on this submission.
Okay.
So would you need for it to be removed to the acknowledgement
Oh, it's
section?
all right. I'll leave it
Okay,
there.
sir.
No problem. I don't see a problem. Okay, thank you. Can we adoption of the report so we can lay it on the table? I'll circulate it for signing in the house. Can we? That should be adequate. Send to the YouTube, so I don't get signed. Yeah.
Still say draft.
Good job, yes.
Yeah, I will remove that. I will
Yeah.
we just have to make arrangements with the senators for signing between Monday and Tuesday, sir, before it's tabled.
Do the final then, we adopt the report, so you can now print formally and we get the signatures. It can be done on the circular and PDF, you can get a signature now. I don't know, we get on the one printed, but that it. Can get it signed online. Bill.
Just a reminder, sir, that we would also need to include the minority report.
Yes.
If it's still the intention with this.
Mr. Jackson is on, I'm sure he will submit a minority report, so urge him to get it to you on time. We'd love to have it, right? Member Jackson?
Yes, Chairman. Afternoon, members. Yes, it will be ready for being attached to the main report. However, I was just scanning through the report before us. Remember at the last meeting, I mentioned that I would have liked the like in the acknowledgement or some appropriate place that will be tabling the amendment. Why I make mention of that now is that the amendment will be addressing specific areas and not the overall report. And somehow I'd rather, well, we will capture that in the report, in the minor report.
You want to mention that the minor. Go again, Member Jackson, and get it clearly.
No, I was saying in further reflection, I thought that what I would probably suggest to be incorporated in the main report, we will put it in the minority report.
All right.
For example, as I mentioned at the last meeting, while we have concurrence out of our own deliberations on the body of it or the main trunk of the bill, it is specific areas that we have concerns about, a different position which the minority report will address.
Yeah, no, I'm fine. And I intended all along that once we start lay the bill, I will make that clear as well, because I do think the committee had a very good set of deliberation. The contribution of the opposition was significant in improving the bill and getting the bill where it is. But there are still one or two policy issues there are difference on, and that's parliamentary process. But there was, I had a conveyed impression, I think the entire committee operated in the best manner of parliamentary practice. Member Jackson.
Yes.
So I too will, it's not documented in the report. I will certainly mention of that along as we get into the house.
So I probably would have want that to somehow reflect in the report, because you know the.
But me too. It's a short sentence.
Yes.
We did have more agreement or disagreement. Let me allow me to call it like this. Okay. All right, now on the bill itself, now what we're looking at, you have highlighted the changes. So you have to tape to them.
The only real change, Minister, is just the inclusion of on page 138 of the consequential amendment.
138, which is offense to the person. Okay. So offense against the person, proposed amendment read from the 7, section 1. Sorry, is it? It reads delete section 23 and substitute therefore the following. General penalty.
I'm sorry, in sections 30. From in sections 30.
Read from section 7(1). In section 13, 16, and 17, insert next after the words hard labor. In each case, the words, and in any case where the offense is committed with the use of a firearm, as defined in section 2 of the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction, Regulation Act, the term of imprisonment shall not be less than 15 years. Was that? In section 22, delete the word 15 years, 15 and substitute therefore the word 20. 3, in section 29 and 30, insert next after the words hard labor, in each case, the words, and in any case where the offense is committed with the use of a firearm as defined in section 2 of the Firearms Prohibition, Restriction, Regulation Act, the term of the imprisonment imposed shall not be less than 10 years. That's it with that. Anything else for me to read? We did have this on the original thing, the firearms title and arrangement of section. So, okay. That's it today, Mr. Richards. Now, for guidance, as I said, we would be CPC, SG. I'm advised that the best thing to do is to withdraw the original bill and relay this. But they'll have to be, I'll need further advice on the process because I have to have the report approved. Am I right? Remember, I seek further advice. We have the report approved. and then withdraw the, Ms. Cunningham, you're on. Then withdraw the former bill and no.
That is correct, Minister. So the process most appropriately would be that we table the reports of the committee, have the debates, and at the conclusion of the debate, you may ask for a recommit. You may then move to withdraw the bill that was there before, and then ask for a recommittal for the necessary elements of the day for you to table the fresh one.
Right. The debate.
The Parliament would give you all the appropriate prompts to take it through the process.
Thank you much. So we're clear on that. All right. So we can proceed to print these now. All right. It's coming on. We get to the printer this weekend. After the report is when Miss follow me step by step of the survey test. The report will be done. That will be printed by the printer as well. Right?
No,
No, sir.
This goes to the house, right? Yes. The bill itself now will go to the printer as is.
Yes. So Mr. Grant will make the changes that we have discussed right now.
She have made it.
Right. So she just made a change.
That's a lot, right? And you will follow through on the printed office for me, right? Well, so we can get.
But Ms. Grant has to be the one to sign off
Right.
on what is there.
Yes,
So as long as Ms. Grant gives it, CPC gives it okay, then
we go to the printer.
right.
All right. That's it, Ms. Grant, and we'll follow through. As I said, I will. This gives enough time for the printing and do not go in any trepidation. As I said publicly, both SG and yourself, Ms. Grant, I told this public, I accept responsibility. I accept the responsibility, whatever breakdown happen, because I think I don't throw my staff on the bus with these things. And told them any action to be taken will be internal, so it's not for public discourse. I think we have enough time now, Ms. Grant, to get to them over the weekend, and we can read. You can have a chance to read it through, and we also read it through before Tuesday, up to Tuesday morning.
Sister, I've sent the proposed rewording to CTD Richards, so I just want sign off on that, and then I can just send it to the printer.
So,
89.
I sent a response. Can you just look, please? I sent an email.
Okay. I'll see you at this SG. Let's give it to this one.
From SG and CPC.
I'm seeing CPCs, I'm not seeing SG's email.
The ministry.
Yes, I agree. Sorry, that was an error. That was cutting and pasting. So yes, firearms.
Sorry, SG, I'm not seeing your email just yet.
CPC is correcting it.
Oh, so CPCs will just.
Sorry, it seems I didn't reply to all.
Oh, okay. So the proposed version of 89.5A, I think I saw what SG would have probably pointed out. For a law enforcement agency means any entity or association of entities so prescribed for the purpose of this act, being an entity or association of entities having under the laws of any territory, A, in relation to criminal offenses involving firearms, ammunition, or prohibited weapons, or B, licensing or registration functions in relation to, I'm thinking the word firearms is missing, firearms, ammunition, or prohibited weapons.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. I am now in receipt, SG. Yes. So you can consider this. I'll just respond CPC to say we're fine with this.
Sounds good. It is on my screen, I'm not speaking at all. Senator Scott Motley. We cannot move.
I wasn't hearing you. I wasn't hearing.
Yes, I was saying I haven't heard anything from Senator Scott Motley.
I am very present, but not feeling as well as I usually feel, Minister.
Good, very please accept. I hope you get well soon.
Thank you.
100%. You're not down, saying what not, you know.
No, but I wasn't feeling well enough to come on yesterday, so I'm glad I'm feeling better to journey today.
And we're happy to have you on, and I hope you do have fully up by Monday.
Thank you, Minister.
You left all discussion to your partner, Mr. Jackson.
He did a good job.
Yes, he did, but you know, he's still not your equal.
Thank you, Minister.
And I concur with you, Chairman.
All right, good. You're a gentleman then. All right. Anything to correct there, Mr. Judge? Okay. And so we'll make sure you copy me. Show us all these words, you know. Let's try getting them. Okay.
Need to just double check.
Triple check.
Sorry, Ms. CPC, you have removed investigative or prosecutorial. CPC?
No, I haven't. It should be there. Sorry, I was cutting and pasting, so I think words dropped out, but it would be the same as what's there now in relation to investigative or prosecutorial functions.
Thank you.
Firearms, ammunition, or prohibited weapon.
Right.
Yes. Sorry about that.
Double check. It doesn't bad. Double check. That's the end, and we are adjourned until when now. Okay.
Sign off.
So we're signing off.
Signing off. And you will table this on Tuesday, the report.
All right. I understand this is the formal meetings. We'll circulate the document by signing off somehow to my senators. I have to get them on. They're here throughout. But I want to thank everybody. First, I did begin by thanking the technical team who worked exceedingly well and responded very well. I really mean that. I think the work of the technical team the last 3 months in particular, more than 3 months, 6 months, I mean, could be considered exceptional. It was a grueling task to get this done, but we thought it was important enough to work together with you and get this bill through. So I want to thank the technical team in particular and the lady bill in the House on Tuesday. You send it for printer, right? And then send the best grant for. Right, so we'll get it done. I want to thank the Senate today, however, for completing their business or whatever much of the business could do and allow us time this afternoon to really get this bill through. And I thank my senators in particular. I did speak with the Senate leader of the government business, and the president. Didn't get a chance to speak to the opposition leader, but the Senate got through its work by 2 o'clock and gave us time to meet this evening. We want to thank the senators who are here for that support. Senator Scott Matley and Senator Charles Sinclair, who have been here at pretty much all the meetings and have made a tremendous contribution to our deliberations. Other senators who are here for the states have all made a contribution, but we thank you for today's effort to allow us to get to this stage. So I'm going to
Minister, before you adjourn.
Yes, go ahead, Senator.
It would be remiss of me not to commend you. I notice you've commended everybody for the role that they have played, and I join you in doing so. But I think that, Minister, you need to be commended on meeting all your objectives. You did tell us what your deadline was, and you have been a very hard taskmaster, if I say so myself. But it shows that when you're committed to something, you consider it done. And I just want to congratulate you as well. This has not been an easy task. And the reason why we are here is because of the dedication which you provided and the guidance which you provided to the committee, Minister. So I'm sure I speak on behalf of everyone when I say that the commendations are due to you.
Thank you, Senator. We had a your support.
Chairman, just for the record, I had no prior discussion with member Scott Markley on that point, which about your chairmanship, for which I made my own commendation of, but not as eloquently as she did it today. So
we have accepted that role that you're not as eloquent as the honorable senator. Never mind. No, thank you very much, both. And I think you all made a tremendous it did help me to keep focus, quite frankly, in your, all of your efforts, your contribution, your comments, and I said the response of the staff, technical staff that really worked their way through this. Sometimes not so well, as Senator Dr. Scott Matley said, some of the staff members went through a bit of a rough time. We have been having, besides COVID, influenza, etc. But thanks to everyone. I think we've had a good committee, and maybe hope we can set a model. Not as intense, but in terms of the conduct of committees going forward, which I think is where the House really shows its qualities and our commitment to work together and do the best for our country. Thank you all, and have a good weekend. Senator Sinclair, Noel Montego Bay. I know he's coming. Mr. Williams is coming. I would. At my age, I won't get there. Monkeypox and COVID. I'll wait until next year. Mr. Williams, Member Williams, you're gonna.
No, sir. I was just listening curiously. Sir, I just want to add I know it's a parting shot, but I just want to say it was my first experience on a committee of this sort. It's an eye-opening experience, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And I must say that I've learned I've learned a lot, and I really appreciate being a member of this committee.
Thank you, sir. You too. And so we'll have more to come. A lot of work to do. So thank you all, and have a good weekend with family and friends as required. You'll hear from us Sunday for the signing off, and I will lay the bill on Tuesday. Have the summer to look at it again, and we can have a formal debate down the road. Okay. Adjourn. Adjourn. Closing.
Okay, goodbye, chair, members, colleagues. Have a good
Thank you,
weekend.
SG. To you, SG.
Yes,
Keep well.
thank you. We'll try.
We're not saying goodbye to this grant. We keep this grant going still until we finish. Finish this plan.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you,
Have
Mr.
a
Grant.
good
Real thank you.
weekend, everybody.
Yeah, family. Thank you. And Anila,
Yes,
And
sir.
get special thanks.
Thank you, sir. You're welcome. I'll still be talking to Mr. Richards to complete what we've done today. So thank you.
All right.
Recording stopped.